All right. Welcome to the Real Estate 360 show. And what's that tagline?
From the show to the pro.
That's right. My name is Jason Miles.
And this is Steve Connolly.
And we are here to talk about everything real estate related. Whether you're just starting out, whether you're experienced, whether you're doing single family, multifamily, whether you're lending, whether you need money, whatever it is you need, we're here to talk about.
Absolutely. Real estate, most people think it's one thing. And, you buy a house, you fix it, you rent it.
Yeah.
But it's probably not just one thing.
That's right.
We found out that it's everything. It's multiple things. It's anything you can imagine. So what's going on?
Well, see, I got to know who I'm talking to today.
Well, somebody said, we're always born or something. I had a lizard on my kitchen counter. I don't know why, But
Where's
no.
Sharon? Where's Sharon? Somebody get Sharon over
Somebody
here.
get some translation going on here. Now, listen, I'm wearing this wig, because I felt like it.
That's right.
A lot of talk about, gender this way and that way these days, and so I'm thinking, well, maybe I'll try the other side for this morning or something.
You're giving it a shot. What more can I say? I do think that maybe the next time you wear that one,
Yeah.
a little more. I don't know what you put on it. Hairspray, mousse, what?
Nothing.
What is it? Nothing.
It's just all natural.
You know what? I have a wager that I like to propose here.
Okay.
The next call that comes in for a property visit,
Yeah. Nah, not likely.
you can tie it in a ponytail.
No, the reason I'm doing this is so people who are listening will say, what the hell are they talking about?
You got to go and look at it.
There you go. Thank you. But, I got this because I was down in New Orleans helping out with a salon booth. Like they were selling equipment to people who would do hair and stuff. So there was a booth, two booths down, and I walked down, and they were selling these wigs. And I said, listen, we've got a corner booth up here. Let's do some cross promotion.
Right.
You send us people, for our, equipment, and I'll go, give me a wig, and I'll sit out here on the corner, and people will walk by and look at me. Now, listen, I had a, three-piece suit on with a tie and a white shirt and all that, and I looked pretty spiffy. And then I had this, kind of bright red wig.
I gotta tell you,
I got some looks. Like, what the
I don't
hell?
I don't doubt it.
Oh.
If I was in the wig market and you were the wig model,
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd actually buy that brand.
Well, at least you could. At least you'd look. I made you look.
You did. Now, maybe it was all done up and special because the cross promotion, the cross marketing thing actually works, and it works in every single
Thank you for picking up
business,
on that.
right?
Yeah, that's right. And I'm going to lose this week because it's very irritating. I can't get it out of my eyes and all this stuff.
It's a lot of work being a woman.
Well, tell me about that. What do you mean? I don't really know. And how do you know?
I've only heard it. I've only heard through the grapevine.
Well, listen. Let's talk about cross promotion, joint ventures, that kind of thing.
Absolutely, I think that's a good segue there.
Yeah. Okay. We have done a lot of houses, and sometimes we'll sell stuff to investors who think they know what they're doing, and rookies kind of get in and they stump their toes sometimes. They don't understand, and things go wrong. Like, for instance, the city of Atlanta might decide that the particular area that we're buying and selling houses in, they might decide to make it historic
with very little notice,
with no notice whatsoever. Like, oh, by the way, this, we made this historic yesterday, at 3:00, and now everything's changed.
Yeah.
So, but out of every opportunity, backwards. Out of every challenge, there's an equal or greater opportunity.
That's for sure.
So, we picked up these two houses that a fellow that we sold to about a year ago, and he got totally frustrated with the city of Atlanta because he couldn't get a permit. Finally got a permit.
Yeah.
Might have been out of money at that time, or maybe just out of imagination, because you can really never run out of money. You can only run out of imagination.
That's right.
So,
Because like we discussed before, especially in a market like this, at this point, It's not 2009, 10, 11 where you can just trip over a deal, right? Now, values have gone up. The cost to renovate, cost for new construction, the cost for money is, of course, very low, but it's not really stimulating things. So you have to be very creative and actually put your deals together, structure deals, make deals.
That's right.
Which is what kind of occurred in this situation, right?
It is, yeah. So anyway, I guess this fellow contacted you back and said, I'm done. I just want out.
Yeah.
Right. So what did we do?
Creatively put a deal together that made sense for us.
Yeah.
Something that this gentleman could have very easily have done for himself, but like you said, he was, maybe he was out of money. He was definitely out of patience.
Right.
We know that for sure. And in a lot of situations, the patience factor is significant. So for this guy, I think it was more of a patience thing than anything, and he just wanted to be done. And he was willing to literally lose money to be done.
Yeah, he was.
So we creatively came in, and I think we must have had about 3 or 4 conversations about how we would put this together.
We did.
Very short ones, not extensive ones.
Right.
But we had to figure it out. Say, okay, look, what are we going to do? How can we make this profitable? What is it going to look like? What's going to be fair to both parties? Because sometimes, let's face it, there are people that we've come across that would rather lose everything than see anyone else make anything.
Yeah. Luckily, those people are kind of few and far between.
They're out there, though.
They are definitely out there.
They are out there.
I've seen multi-million and billion-dollar deals fall apart over like a quarter of a point.
Yeah.
It's just sometimes there's egos involved.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And it happens all the time. So you have to be you have to find out what the actual needs of the other person are. It goes back into what our negotiations tactics are.
Yeah.
It's listening to what their need is. And sometimes you can't fulfill everything. Like we couldn't give this guy everything he wanted. It was impossible.
Yeah, impossible.
It was up to him to either lose something today, or see it through and make a little bit of money.
Right.
And again, for him, he'd rather lose a significant portion instead of make a small amount. And we put a deal together where we bought his company. Yeah. Gave him a little bit of money and structured the rest through the sales of those particular properties that still gave a loss to him, but gave him more money than he was willing to take for a cash position situation. And albeit it wasn't easy getting all the information that we needed from him.
No, it was not. And we still didn't get all the information. There was a few surprises.
Yeah, that's for sure.
That we experienced.
That's right. And you have to kind of be ready for it. And, we expect it to happen. Yeah. Not that we want it to happen, but things come up. And if you go into something and you think that it's going to be all sunshine and roses 100% of the time, forget about it. And you have to realize that life is simply just a series of obstacles, life, business, whatever. It's just a series of obstacles, and it's all about how you handle it. If you know that there are issues that are going to come up, which you do because you're alive.
Right, of course.
Right?
Yeah.
You're alive. So there are going to be issues that come up. You can't worry about the issue. Focus on the solution. Get past it. Deal with it. Maybe you don't make $80,000. Maybe you only make $55,000. Oh, my God. How bad is that?
Maybe you only make 20.
Maybe you only make 20, but guess what? You're still in the black.
It's hard to go out of business when you're making money.
That's what I'm saying.
Now it's easy when you're losing money.
That's right. That's it quickly.
Right.
And this business can drain you very, 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 very fast. So you have to take your time, understand what it is you want to do. I was listening to some station. Well, I was actually listening to this station. It was a show that was on yesterday morning or early afternoon.
Okay.
And the lady had retired from corporate America, took a little bit of her 401k money, and bought 6 houses in 2 months.
Oh, my God.
I mean, with no real estate experience whatsoever, right?
Yeah.
She got a mentor. She did all the stuff she was supposed to do. But you talk about somebody just diving in, right? I mean, head first. You don't know what's down there. You don't know how deep the water is. She just jumped in. Just imagine. I don't care really how much money you have. If you've got the cojones to take money out of to quit your career, take money out of your retirement and go buy 6 houses,
Yeah.
and you've only been in this for 60 days, that's courageous.
That is very courageous.
It's either courageous or stupid, right? But
I'll go with courageous.
Yeah, exactly.
For now.
So, but it actually worked out for her because, it wasn't about knowing everything right here, right now.
Yeah.
She said, look, the only way I'm going to learn is to do it. I trust my team. I value their opinion. So let's take action. Let's take massive action right now, and let's do what we have to do, and we'll work through whatever obstacles occur. And that's what they did.
She's exactly right, though. I mean, I don't know if I'd have jumped in with 6 houses.
Yeah,
or
that's
not,
a lot.
but 2,
Yeah.
1 or 2,
Yeah.
1 would be good. I mean, I've got this logo lady that I wanted her to do 10 logos. I said, well, let me just try 1 and see what happens.
Yeah.
Well, I think I'm just going to find somebody else to do the other 9.
Right. That's right.
Whatever. But that's a lot of courage to do that. And yes, my hat's off to her for that.
For sure.
And she'll learn super fast.
Yeah.
Everything she needs to know about what to do next.
That's right, because you can't help but to learn when you're in that situation. You've got so much on the line,
She must have just gone out and bought stuff right off the market because she didn't get this 4-week action plan.
She did not.
Because this tells you where to go find all your properties and your great deals and set up your team. And by the way, you did a fantastic job on this.
Well, thank you. I mean, it's pretty inclusive of everything that really needs to happen.
Yeah.
Inside of a 30-day period. But listen,
Yeah.
let's get to that after this break because we're coming up on a break and we really need to take this break.
Okay. We'll do that.
All right, let's do it. See you guys when we come back.
We'll buy your house. Click 833willbuy.com. That's 833WELLBUY.com.
Or call 833-WILL-BUY.
Se habla español. Llámanos. Call us today.
All right. We are back. You are good to go. I love the studious Steve.
Yes.
With the
like
spectacles down a little bit, reading the paper.
Well, I have to look over them, Most people at my age are needing reading glasses.
I'm fighting
I
it.
don't.
You're fortunate because I'm fighting it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm finding myself in that place. Like I can actually see the paper,
Mm-hmm.
but it has to be over here.
Right.
Right. So that's why I can justify not buying the glasses because I don't need to have it this close to my face, right? Like 6 inches or so. But since I feel like I can see better because I have to hold it further away to
It's
see it.
vanity, isn't it?
I think it is.
I mean, come on.
I think it is. When you live your life like a supermodel, I mean, what do you expect? You know what I mean?
It's lifestyles. It's all about the lifestyle. And by the way, I've been meaning to mention something that I have a hashtag with my name on the show here, which is unemployable.
That's right.
Is that what it is?
It is. It's,
Without a job, unable to be employed.
You are unemployable.
I know I am.
I can agree.
I mean, I did work for a company for a while, but it was such a great company that I was like, I never got any visits from the home office or anything. They just left me alone. But I had my retail store. I was in the furniture business.
Yeah.
And I was there for 5 years, and I got 3 visits from the home office the whole time.
Wow.
I sent my paperwork in. I made them money, and they just they had other issues. They had other problems.
That's right. And their problems are what made you unemployable.
Yeah, it really was, man. It's like I got a percent of the profit, so I was paying attention. You know, although it literally took me 6 months when I got hired right out of the University of Georgia. It took me 6 months to actually figure out, we're here to make a profit.
Yeah.
I was green. I was right out of college. I didn't know. I get it.
Yeah. We're just not here to show up.
That's right.
But which is kind of good because showing up is probably 80 and 90% of the battle, right?
Absolutely.
And in anything that we do. I mean, even being in that environment, that work environment that you were in, you showed up because you expected that there was going to be people that walked through the door, people that you could talk to and pitch your product.
That's right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So there was that level of expectation because there was signage, there's an address, you have a brick and mortar business.
I ran an ad.
See, and that's exactly where I'm going with this, right?
Right.
So here in this business that we are entrepreneurs, right? And we talked about cross marketing, which we'll get right back to, because you have to be available. You have to show up first
Right.
and foremost in what we're doing.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
And you can't, when you show up, it's not like you wake up in the morning and you go to Starbucks and you pop open your tablet or your laptop and you say, okay, I'm here. Let's sell some houses, right? Showing up means taking action. Showing up means finding houses. Showing up means creating opportunities where there may not seem to be one. But one of the largest questions that we hear from newbies is, where do we find these properties?
That's the question.
Okay. For us, it turns into a cross-marketing opportunity.
Can I give you an example?
I would love that.
You know, I run this little networking group. It's called USA Business Connect. And we have an Alpharetta chapter, which happens to be the only chapter. So I've been running that for like 5 years, and I get, 5 or 6 people show up or 20 or 30 people show up, whatever it is. And, I say, by the way, I buy and sell houses.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really talk about it too much.
Mhm.
But a couple of weeks ago, I got this lady that called me up and she said, I know we've met somewhere before, but somebody referred me to you.
Mm-hmm.
And I have my house is for sale
Mhm.
over in East Cobb.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I'm interested. And I said, yeah. And I remembered her from a previous business that I owned
Mm-hmm.
outside of real estate.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, yeah, this is where we met. And she said, oh, yeah, okay, cool. So, you said taking action.
Yes. Massive action. That's
Massive
the term.
action.
That's the term today.
Yeah, massive action. And so, and it almost doesn't matter what you do. I mean, you can go to a square dance.
Yeah.
That's taking action.
That's right.
And you don't know what you don't know. You don't know if who you're going to run into there at the square dance.
Mm-hmm.
Do they still have those?
They do. They definitely do.
Anyway, so I mentioned this, at the USA Business Connect, and somebody told somebody, and somebody told somebody, and then it gets back to me, and there's action right there.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't matter what you do.
As long as you do
Right.
something.
Yeah.
And that's the big thing. And I want to come right back to this, but I have to say this, that educating yourself consistently is priceless. There are so many people out here that think, okay, I've figured out how to do this, and then they stay there. But whatever that is that you figured out, a month later is going to be a little different. 6 months from now, it's another world because technology changes constantly. We were having this conversation before we started today about the difference in real estate today from just in 2005 and 2006 as it relates to what we had to do to get information
Yeah.
for
Huge.
these properties that we're looking at. Now, we pay $10 a month. We have access to the service. We can pull up anything, at the courthouse for $10 a month.
That's amazing.
But back in the day, which back in the day wasn't that long
You had
ago.
to go to the courthouse and
Or-
look it
exactly,
up.
which took hours and hours. So you'd pay people, which was hundreds of dollars a week.
Yeah.
And now, for pennies a day, I sound like one of those commercials. For pennies a day, you could find out all you need to find out about these poor properties that need your help right now. So it's like what is it? The SPCA? What is it? ASPCA.
ASPCA.
We have to figure out the acronym for real estate.
Let's not really waste our brain cells on that.
It's funny. For pennies a day, you can save this house.
I like the idea. That's a pretty good marketing gimmick.
All we have to do is find a lady that can sing something that's just ominous in the background, just kind of.
Can I take us back
Yeah, let's.
to your comment about where do you find the properties?
But it's the cross marketing aspect of it. Though.
It's that, but and then you said you need to educate yourself, and because what I hear people saying is, where do you find the properties? But that's not what I hear coming from them. It's how do you recognize them when you see them? And
sure.
That's the education part you're talking about.
Yeah.
And along those lines, we have something we do once a month, And usually it's something around the wholesaling, but we kind of cover the gambit while we're there.
Absolutely.
It's a mastermind question and answer, and we've got one coming up in August called Wholesale Mastery.
Yes.
And that is August. I'm going to look at my schedule here and see that it is August the 17th.
August the 17th.
From 10 o'clock to noon o'clock.
That's right. We ask people to get there at about 9:30. And again, like you said, this is something that is designed specifically to answer people's needs, people's questions. If you have something that's going on and you don't know how to get through it, here's a place for you to come and talk to. Here are people that are willing to not only walk you through whatever your situation. When I say people, I mean you and I.
Sure.
That we're going to walk you through your process and show you some other things that you can implement in your business. If you're already in business, or how you need to get it started. If you haven't gotten it started, that's what this whole 4-week action plan is about.
Exactly.
You know, how do you go from 0 to 100 real quick? That's what it is, right? So it doesn't mean in 30 days you're going to be a gazillionaire, but what it does mean is from day 1 to day 30, you'll have things that you need to put in place every single day, that you can put in place every single day if you just take 30 minutes out of your day, 45 minutes out of your day, and put into yourself what you really want. It doesn't mean it's going to be easy, because I know how difficult it can be sometimes to find 45 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour.
Oh, no.
Especially with that show that comes on at 8 o'clock that you just can't miss.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And really, we all, I'm glad you said that, we all have enough time.
Yes.
We all have plenty of time. It's just a matter of where does this rank in your priority list?
That's right.
So if you love to do it, it's really easy to put it up on the top of your priority list.
That's right.
And if you don't like it, then, it's not going to show up on your priority list so much. And then all of a sudden you won't have time to do it.
Because that show's on at 8 o'clock.
I know. That's a really good show.
Can't miss it. But that's what this is. So August 17th. August 17th, Wholesale Mastery. You can find a link in the description of this for that as well.
Yes.
And we can just go from there.
You can find it on Eventbrite too, just in case.
Okay, that's correct. Eventbrite, Wholesale Mastery.
Yeah. On
Eventbrite.
And it will be in Smyrna at Shared Space on Herodian Way, right up there next to the SunTrust.
Great facility.
Park. Yeah.
Beautiful facility.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So once you find out how to recognize the properties, and you've got this 4-week action plan, the 4-week action plan really is there to build your foundation.
It is.
And your foundation is, number one, learning what to do.
Right.
And then learning about the marketing. And once you get that, once you understand how to recognize a property, then all you need to do is follow the 4-week action plan. That's
exactly right. And going back again, because I really love the idea of cross-marketing. We provide opportunities for people who are just starting out, who don't know how to recognize a deal yet, because we've recognized these deals already. And we give them the opportunity to make money selling our stuff. Right. Now, this is something that people can do for anyone. If you are out here and you're trying to find, real estate deals, and you're taking this class and that class, that's good. Learn how to do those things, but also work with other wholesales, cross-market their properties. Maybe you don't make $10,000, maybe you only make a couple, but you're in the money now, and you're getting a feel for the business, and you can sock that money away and put it towards your own marketing plan, and you can do that with and for other people. But, Steve,
I know we're coming up on a break,
yeah.
But when we come back, ask me about when you learn something.
I got that. I'm not going to forget. Here we go.
All right.
Do you need to sell your house? Well, our company Will Buy your house. We make the process very fast, very easy, and it's all cash. All you have to do is give us a call today.
We'll buy your house. Click 833willbuy.com. That's 833WELLBUY.com.
Or call 833-WILL-BUY.
Se habla español, llámanos, call us today.
Okay, we are back. And Steve, before the break,
Yes.
you wanted me to remind you about when we or you learn something.
Anyone, anybody. So my question to you, anybody and everybody, is if everything is going well, I mean, pretty much you know what to expect every day, everything's going perfect, are you learning anything? Have you actually learned anything?
When you're in that routine,
Yeah.
probably not.
No, you don't learn anything because everything's going, predictable. I'm
Yeah.
not going to say well
Right.
because, you might be in a rut, but maybe it's a comfortable rut, but you're not learning anything. Now, personally, my experience is when I learn the fastest is when things go wrong.
Listen, I used to know a guy that knew a guy in Astoria, Queens.
Yeah.
And this guy that knew a guy said to me, and it was it was chilling the way he said it.
Mm.
He said, Miles, in my experience, the best teacher is pain.
Oh,
And I didn't know if that was directed. I knew it wasn't directed towards me because
did you owe him money? Or?
I didn't owe him any money.
Okay, was his name Guido?
It was Paulie.
Okay,
It was
that's close
Paulie.
enough.
It was Paulie. And that's what Paulie said. And the reality of it is, however you look at that, it's the truth.
Yeah.
Pain is the absolute best teacher any of us can have. Because think about the most painful things that you've gone through in your life.
Yeah.
You immediately know what you learned from that situation. It's now just a matter of applying that information.
And there's nothing bad.
No.
It's all good,
Yeah.
So what if it's painful at the moment?
Yeah.
You're going to learn a lot.
That's right. That's right.
Whether you want to or not.
You will always bear that scar. So it's your perspective of it will determine how you proceed with the rest of your life.
And
from that.
we don't always know what good is going to come out of the pain, if you will, or
Yeah.
the mistake or the error or the misfortune. But if you just go at it with trust that it's all going to work out.
Mm.
And I'll give you a great example because, when I went to these real estate things, I always wanted to hear tell me about a house. What did you do and how did you do it and all that. So I'm going to tell you about Willoughby.
Yes.
Is that okay?
I love Willoughby.
So this realtor calls me up about a year ago. One of our realtors that we work with on a regular basis understands, buying and selling, wholesale, real estate. I mean, he's an investor himself. He owns probably 10 or 12 rental properties. He's, I think he's insane, to own those, but that's okay. But he's really sharp. He knows his numbers. He's great. And so he called me up, and then you and I went out and looked at this house about a year ago, and we said, yeah, this is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And then it went quiet, and we didn't hear anything. Well, a few months ago, he called me up and said, hey, that house, you all went and looked at over on Willoughby Place in Decatur? I said, yeah. He said, well, the folks there got divorced because that's the reason that they were, contemplating selling it to begin with. So
Yeah.
they went ahead and they got it all finalized. Now they're at the end. They want to sell it. You still interested? I said, yeah. We're still interested, definitely. So we went out and I didn't have to go out, and I just wrote the contract.
Yeah.
And we got it. We bought it, and we started fixing it. I did. This is one of mine. You've got 8 you're doing. I've got 4 I'm doing.
Yeah,
So I was doing this one, and then I brought in another contractor, to help speed things along and do the kitchen for me and some tile work.
oh,
And oh my gosh, they,
oh.
I gave them a big chunk of money.
And these were trusted people. by
We've
the
been
way.
working with them for a couple of years.
Yeah, these were trusted people.
So I said, okay, here's a deposit on the floor. And so they came in and started doing the tile on the floor, did that. And then they said, oh, yeah, we can do the kitchen for you, too. I said, great. Gave me a price. I said, that's good. I'll do that. And then said, give us this amount of money on the kitchen. So I did. And they said, and I did it because they said, okay, this was like a Thursday. And they said, okay, your cabinets will be here on Tuesday.
Yeah.
I said, next Tuesday? And they said, yeah, next Tuesday. I said, fantastic. Here's a check. Go. And, Tuesday came and kind of went, and Wednesday and Thursday. And then I said, hey, and they rescheduled it for Friday, and then they rescheduled it for the following week, and then they rescheduled it again, and of course in the meantime I found out some of the cabinets were not available, and finally I got to the point where I said never mind, I just canceled it all, and then in the process they messed up some tile work, and I had said, okay, well, come back and fix it. They said, yeah, we'll fix it. A million apologies, we'll fix it. Well, no action. And at some point, you say, never mind, and just move on. So that costs a good bit of money. And now, Miles, I'm not blaming you or anything. So, I'm not blaming anybody. I'm just saying, okay, this is the way it is. And so now I'm at the end of this, and we're finishing this house up this week. It should have been done. Really, it should have been done 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
But so now I can focus my attention on, it should have been done 3 or 4 weeks ago, or I can say, okay, what's the really great thing about this thing being finished this week and going on the market this week? Maybe the universe is lining things up so that we've got a buyer on Thursday. Now, one of the guys that's working on the houses, he said, listen, if I hit the lottery, tonight, I'm buying this house tomorrow.
Yeah.
One of the guys, one of my crew guys.
Yeah.
He said, man, I love this house. I love this neighborhood. I would buy this today.
Absolutely.
So,
there's another takeaway from that story as well.
Really?
Absolutely. And it's something that is imperative in every industry. It's so important that you communicate your issues because, listen, the reality of it is you're a part of a team. You've got your contractors, it's you, it's your realtor, it's whoever is associated with that deal, right? So with this particular group, because as you know, this group that we're talking about, these are trusted people we trust to do work, and they fell on hard times. They think they just took on too much work, and they had too many projects going on, which financially spread them thin, which made everybody pay the price, right?
Yes,
now,
right.
instead of them communicating these issues, they just overpromised and underdelivered over and over and over and over and over again. And it gets to a point where you say, okay, I have to cut ties with these folks and keep it moving. But the takeaway is when you see these issues, jump on it right away. Immediately go to that person or that company and say, okay, we're in this together. My wagon is attached to you right now. What is your issue? What is it that you need? What's going on? And put ego to the side, put pride to the side, because right now you're going to lose a lot of business if you don't just come clean and let me help you with these solutions.
Right.
Because as you always say, there's the greater mind.
Mm-hmm.
And that comes from putting more heads together than just one.
Exactly. There's only one.
That's right.
There's only one mind.
There's only one mind, and that's the greater mind.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to be open to it. And the communication starts that process. So communicating with your problem child, is an important thing to do. And if your contractor is the problem child, it's up to them to, of course, say, okay, yes, here's my problem. But it's up to us to recognize that problem a little bit sooner than later and say, okay, I've been here before. I see what's going on. Before this gets too deep, what's going on with you? And how can I help you fix it?
And one of the takeaways for me is I wasn't really focused on that job because I have a pretty darn good project manager down there.
Yeah.
Of course, I brought in the wild card, so he couldn't manage that project. And so, but the takeaway there was I have ended up going down there a good bit more to look at that house, and I put my own touches on it. I picked out the light fixtures, the ceramic, backsplashes and tiles, a lot of that, a lot of the fixtures, a lot of the mirrors and hardwares, and the Nest thermostat, and I just ordered a Ring doorbell for it this morning. So now all that is there that a contractor's not going to do, because he's not going to say, "Oh, I'm going to spend $350 of Steve's money to buy a Nest thermostat because I know he's going to like it."
Right.
He doesn't have a clue.
Well, and 9 times out of 10, they're not very good at the design side.
Not really.
So they just want to make the wall straight. and the floor even.
Yeah,
And that's what we expect of them.
absolutely.
Anything else is just kind of icing on the cake.
Totally.
And those are the takeaways. I mean, when you're operating a business, especially in this real estate business, you've got so many people that do so many things differently.
Mm-hmm.
How they operate their business is different. The pricing from one contractor to the next is different. Every variable that you might think is fixed is not fixed. It's there. It's fixed because it's there, but the cost for it isn't.
I'm looking across the table, and I want to see that somebody else is looking across the table
Yes.
at me and understanding what it is I need for my business and watching my back, because I'm going to watch their back if they watch my back, and then we have like a 300 Spartans, everybody's in a circle, and we can fend off, 2,000 Phoenicians.
For sure, but that all starts with communication.
That's right.
Right? If you can't communicate with your people, if you're operating out of pure expectation,
Yeah,
you're going to get let down.
absolutely.
You're absolutely going to get let down. So even if you trust that person,
Mm-hmm.
and really this goes for any kind of relationship, even if you trust that company or that person, you have to communicate, and you have to do it consistently, because circumstances change all the time.
Mm.
And if you're not communicating and you start to see that there's something, you're going to start operating from expectation. Oh, I expect them to get over this and be just fine. Well, what happens when they don't? Or what happens when it takes them a little bit too long to do it? Ultimately, in this business that we're in, it just costs you and I money.
Yeah, that's right.
It doesn't cost them money. They could lose the business,
Yeah.
but we're still going to lose money,
No.
right?
Well, I was communicating, but I
Yeah.
couldn't get anything back.
It's that ego and pride, man.
Yeah, that's what
It's that ego. But hey, listen,
I was a little strong.
yeah, we're going to take a break. We're going to come right back and talk about Steve's ego and pride.
No.
We'll buy your house. Click 833willbuy.com. That's 833WELLBUY.com.
Or call 833-WILL-BUY.
Se habla español, llámanos, call us today.
All right, welcome back to the Real Estate 360 show. I am Steve Conley and
And I am Jason O. Miles.
Jason O'Miles.
Jason O. Miles.
Well,
I'm
listen,
not Irish, though. It's O. dot, O. period Miles, not O. comma Miles.
oh, okay.
I mean,
You're
apostrophe
not.
Miles.
I
Excuse
thought
me.
you were Irish,
I get it a lot. I tell
that-
people I'm Jason O. Miles, and where are you from in Ireland?
It's the kilt, that threw me off.
I like the kilt. I you know what? I have a kilt.
Oh, no.
I'm telling you, I have a kilt. So I'm not Irish, but like most people, I really enjoy St. Patrick's Day. All right. So I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, I bought this kilt, and it's this. I like the Jets, right?
Okay.
Not a Jets fan per se, but I am a Namath fan.
Okay.
So I have this.
Who's
Namath
not?
jersey, right?
Right.
And the jersey or the kilt has the same colors as the jersey. I mean, they're like identical greens, right?
Yeah, they are.
So I throw on my Timberlands and my kilt and my Namath jersey on St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, my God.
Can you imagine? Now, for those of you just listening and you're not looking at me, I'm 6'4", 300 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
And I put on Timberlands, a kilt, and a football jersey, and I
pulled
walked.
your dreads out?
And I walked the streets
Okay. I bet
with a Stein.
I bet people were looking at you like they were looking at me when I had this wig on
I
a little bit earlier.
I guarantee it. They don't know what to think. Oh, what clan is he from? I don't know.
Listen, I wanted to talk about what to do first. We have real estate, and we can talk about different things, because people have come into this
Yeah.
with different resources. Like some people come in with nothing.
Right.
Some people come in with some money. Maybe they got a job, they got some credit, and they want to do. They don't really have the time or effort, or they don't want to put the effort to try to learn this whole business, because this is a business, and it'll take up all your time if you want it to.
That's right.
Or you can take up very little.
That's right. So, I look at our business model currently and how that's changing,
Yeah.
how our business model is changing from, incorporating the multifamily a little more in depth, focusing, having a little bit of focus on the lending aspect of it, and then still managing our single family stuff and how we do that. Or more importantly, how we're going to do that in the future.
Exactly.
From the wholesale business to the fix and flip business in particular. We know that we're going to have to bring in people to handle certain aspects of those, because there's no way we're going to let that business go, right? Those two businesses go. There's just no way.
And there are people who can focus their attention on that,
right.
and potentially they're better than us if they put all their attention in that certain area.
Because that would be their focus.
Specializing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Project managers,
Yeah.
That are getting paid what they're worth.
Sure.
People that run our marketing, that'll run our marketing in the future.
Yeah.
That know exactly what they need to do and how they need to do it. All of the moving parts, the different components that make up our marketing model, our marketing process, and the things we'll implement going forward as well.
And there's no set way. I mean, they might call you and say, well, what's your budget?
Yeah.
That's usually the first thing that those guys ask.
Yeah.
And so they want you to say a number like $5,000 a month, or $10,000, or $20,000, or $80,000, a month.
Yeah.
Well, we might not want to say that.
Right.
We might want to do a joint venture with them, like you did.
Yeah. I mean, we do a lot of those.
Yeah.
For different things. But there's a ton of different ways that people can structure their business. We sit back pretty much every day and look at these different scenarios that are in front of us and say, how can we handle this? Which option is best for us in our immediate situation?
Exactly. And that's, in a way, that's where I was going with this, because, there's like three different categories of people showing up for the business.
Yeah.
One, they have a lot of time and limited resources.
Mm-hmm.
They have limited time and more resources, or they have unlimited resources, or maybe substantial resources.
Right.
Let's not say I don't know anybody who has unlimited resources,
Right.
unless you're over there at the Fed printing money, and one of
Yeah.
the people who own that, then they have unlimited resources. But
Our wonderful Rothschilds and the like.
So if you're starting out, what do you do? Well, what I did was, I made a form up that was, and I'm looking at this 4-week action plan, which says, make sure you fill out your property information form.
Yes.
I had a property information form. I filled it out and just went and just did that over and over and over again. And pretty soon I realized, it wasn't that important if the house had, because I was thinking, man, how do I keep up with all this?
Yeah.
There's a carport over here, and then there's a porch or a deck, and then it's 3 bedrooms and 3 bedrooms, but there's some slight differences in square foot. It was starting to drive me a little bit nuts.
Yeah, yeah. And those property information forms are vital for a lot of different things. One, it's going to jog your memory. So let's just explain to people what that is. So
Yes.
a property information form is a document, a 1 or 2 page document that you fill out when you get a call about a property. Now, I keep them hard copies with me, because I'll get a call while we're driving, having lunch, not at home. You can have your tablet, you can have digital versions, you can do it any way you want. But I'm old school, so I keep a stack of them with me, right? And when people call, I write down the address, I ask the questions that are on there, I get all the pertinent information, and then I set up a time to go and look at it. I set an appointment up in the very near future. But all of the information that I need to know from that property owner, I can put right there on that property information form. Then I will go and look up the property to verify square footage, bed and bath count, location, all that great stuff. But it lets us know exactly where that property is. Now, maybe we don't make a deal on that property, right? We go look at it, we make them an offer, and they don't accept the offer. I literally have a file, a big file thing on my desk with just those in there from each month.
You're way better at that than I am. Here we're partners in this. I do it totally different.
Yeah.
All I want to know from a homeowner is, how much are you asking?
Mm-hmm.
How much do you think the repairs are? Just tell me what the repairs are.
Yep.
What's the address? And I can figure out the rest.
Yeah.
Now, there's one question that I do ask them that tells me, where we are in the negotiations.
Mm-hmm.
I say, and it's this question. And if you're listening and you want to be in the business, I'd write this question down because it's made me a lot of money and saved me a lot of time. It's when do you need to sell?
Mm-hmm.
When do you need to sell? And that question is really two questions. And they're either going to answer the need part of that or the time part of that. And most of the time they answer the need part, which is not the question. I said, when do you need to sell? And then they start focusing in on the need.
Right.
Well, I don't really need to sell. That tells me all I need to know.
Yeah. Because a lot of times, really, they don't, again, it goes back to that pride and ego thing. Well, I don't really need to sell.
Depends on how they answer.
Right, exactly.
Now, if they say, well, I need to sell this thing by, like next Friday, a week from Friday.
Yeah.
Because, we've got these foreclosure papers here and we got to get out of here,
Yeah.
and we need some cash to go, so those guys are the ones that, are highly motivated.
For sure.
And so now it's not really a matter of negotiating. It's just a matter of, structuring something that works for everybody.
That's right. And, it's how much, right?
Right.
So, that's how that stuff works. And the reason I ask, because I ask all the questions,
Right.
Do you have a loan? How much do you owe?
Sure.
Those kinds of things. What's your payment look like? Would you be willing to do this or would you be willing to do that? Because we're looking for options. We're looking to create opportunities.
Absolutely.
So it might not be a deal that, hey, we can buy this from you for super cheap and go from there. They might owe too much, but now the house might be in a quasi okay condition, but now because they owe too much and they need to get out, we figured out what their need was, what their pain was. Now we might have a subject to a lease option opportunity.
I see that. So we're really not that far off base because we kind of do it the same, but I just do it in a different order.
Exactly.
And once I get that question answered and they say, I need to sell, then I start saying, well, what do you have? What do you owe? And then I know which way to go with that. And if he says, well, we're going to just, we're not going to give it away. We're going to sit on the market. If we need to do some repairs, we're going to do those repairs and blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, listen, call a realtor and list your property and, you'll do the best right there.
That's right. And which a lot of those calls wind up coming back to us anyway.
They do.
Yeah.
And
then we get the expired listing.
Because they're surprised. They're really surprised that we're saying, listen, this is not going to work between us because you don't really have a problem for us to solve. So go get the most money you can get for your house.
Here's another option for you.
We got plenty of them, man. I got 3 or 4 that, I wrote an offer this morning.
Yeah. But see, it's that honesty that separates one group of people from another group of people.
Right.
And the follow-up as well, which is why I keep those on my desk when they say no.
That's where we're different. I don't follow up on anybody.
And there's money in the follow-up, right? So I might not talk to them for a month, 3 weeks, 6 weeks, but they're definitely going to hear from me. And I have them color-coded. I'm a weirdo, so I know what month I need to call them. I'm just weird like that.
I'm watching. That's what I'm doing.
Well, having said that, this is the Real Estate 360 show, and make sure you check out the description for everything that we have to offer on August 17th.
Yes, from the show to the pro.